Have you ever woken up from a nightmare that felt strangely familiar, like you've dreamed it before? Or maybe a million other people have too. What if I told you those terrifying dreams of being chased, losing your teeth, or seeing massive tidal waves aren't just random brain static? What if they're direct reflections of what's happening on the global stage right now? Today, we're diving deep into the hidden language of our collective nightmares, and what the world's biggest headlines are whispering to us while we sleep. I used to think my stress dreams about financial collapse were just my problem. I'd wake up in a cold sweat, heart pounding, thinking about bills and my savings account. But then I started noticing something incredible. In conversations with friends, on online forums, and even in comments on my videos, people were describing the same dreams. Dreams about worthless money, empty banks, and the desperate search for something of value. It was a light bulb moment. My personal anxiety wasn't just mine. It was a shared experience, a reflection of a global economic uncertainty that was seeping into our collective subconscious. This realization sent me down a rabbit hole. I discovered that this phenomenon isn't new. For centuries, when societies go through massive shifts, politically, economically, or environmentally, our subconscious mind starts speaking a universal language through shared dream symbols. Think about it. When the world feels out of control, we dream of falling. When communication breaks down, we dream of losing our teeth. These aren't just personal quirks. They are powerful, ancient archetypes, bubbling up from our collective human experience. Let's start with one of the most common collective nightmares of recent years: the pandemic dream. So many of us reported dreaming about being unable to breathe, being trapped in crowded spaces with invisible threats, or frantically trying to clean something that would never come clean. These dreams are a direct psychic response to the real-world fears of contagion, isolation, and a loss of control over our own bodies and health. The invisible virus in the news became the invisible monster under our beds, or the suffocating feeling in our chests as we slept. Our dreams were processing the shared trauma of a global health crisis in real time, using the symbolic language our brains have used for millennia to represent unseen dangers. It wasn't just about the fear of getting sick. It was about the breakdown of social trust and the fragility of the systems we rely on. Now, let's shift to the economy. As I mentioned, dreams about financial collapse are rampant, but it's not always as straightforward as seeing stock tickers crash. People dream about their houses crumbling into dust, their wallets being filled with leaves instead of money, or being lost in a giant, confusing marketplace where nothing has a price. These are archetypal dreams of instability. Your house represents your sense of security and foundation in the world. When that foundation is shaken by economic volatility, your dream self literally sees the walls come down. Money turning into leaves is a classic symbol of value becoming meaningless, a deep-seated fear in times of inflation or economic recession. We are collectively dreaming the anxiety of a system that feels increasingly unpredictable and fragile. And what about the environment? The rise in dreams about natural disasters is staggering. Tidal waves, wildfires, earthquakes. These are no longer just random disaster movie scenes playing in our heads. They are the personification of climate anxiety. The overwhelming tidal wave isn't just a wave. It's the feeling of being overwhelmed by forces far beyond our individual control. It represents the flood of bad news, the rising sea levels we hear about constantly, and the sense of impending doom that can be hard to articulate when we're awake. Dreams of choking on smoke or running from an unstoppable fire are a psyche's way of grappling with the very real threat of environmental collapse. Our planet's distress is becoming our own personal, nocturnal horror story. But here's the crucial part. It's not all doom and gloom. Our collective dreams aren't just a catalog of our fears. They are also a reflection of our shared hopes and our incredible resilience. For every dream of falling, there's a dream of flying. For every nightmare of being chased, there are dreams of discovering hidden rooms, finding secret passages, or gaining a new superpower. These are the dreams of adaptation, of finding solutions, of unlocking a potential we didn't know we had. Dreams of finding a key, for instance, can symbolize the search for a solution to a global problem. Dreams of plants growing rapidly inside a house can represent a deep-seated desire for renewal and a return to nature, a hope for healing our world. Our subconscious isn't just screaming in terror. It's also brainstorming, problem solving, and pointing us toward what we collectively value most: connection, safety, and a sustainable future. So, why does any of this matter? Because our deepest fears and hopes aren't just personal. They re-echoing across the globe in our sleep. This isn't just about interpreting your dreams. It's about decoding humanity's shared subconscious. By paying attention to these collective nightmares, we can get a real-time emotional barometer of the human race. We can understand what truly scares us, what we collectively yearn for, and where our focus needs to be. These dreams are a call to action from the deepest part of ourselves. They're telling us what issues need our attention, what wounds need healing, and what possibilities are waiting to be born. The next time you wake up from an intense dream, don't just dismiss it. Ask yourself, is this just my story, or am I tapping into a larger narrative? Is this fear just mine, or is it a fear we all share? By understanding the connection between the headlines and our dreamscapes, we can feel less alone in our anxieties and more connected to the shared human journey. We can start to see that our individual struggles are part of a much bigger picture. Get ready to understand why millions of us are dreaming the same dreams, and what those collective nightmares are truly telling us about our future. Pay attention to your dreams, talk about them, and listen to the dreams of others. You might just find the key to understanding not only yourself, but the world we all share. Thanks so much for watching. If this resonated with you, let me know in the comments what collective dreams you've noticed. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more deep dives into the mysteries of the mind. See you next time.